So I'm going to do this video on a topic that I was hoping didn't have to do again, but market has told us otherwise. And let me set the stage. Let me kind of give it to you as to how we're seeing it. And this goes for buyers that are looking to acquire properties that are maybe a little more distressed or could be good investment plays, right? And the investor mind, when we're listing a property for you for sale, our job is to get you the most money possible, right? In the shortest amount of time. That's the metric, right? That tells us whether or not we're doing a good job. Most amount of money in the least amount of time. Of course, there are other things to think about as well, but for the most part, that's what tells us whether or not we're doing a good job. Now, we get a property under contract or not, we're often dealing with offers that come in, lowball offers or offers from investors, and every once in a while, you'll get an investor offer that sounds good enough to consider. So you counter. We play the game, we go back and forth, and hey, you agree to a price. Amazing. So now this price has been agreed to. Now, depending on your level of, there are a lot of variables that go into this. When we get a buyer offer that comes in, we're vetting the buyers on a couple of different levels. One is, I want to know who's buying that property. Are they an entity? Are they a person? How many other properties have they purchased in this way? What do those transactions look like, right? Sometimes we can do a little bit of due diligence on the back end through the MLS and see what other properties they purchased and whether or not there was a lot of, call it volatility off of what they originally ended up paying for it versus what the property was listed for. You can't really find all the details, but the numbers can allude to different pieces of this story. So let me continue. So when we're talking about a market like now, this is a decent market for investor buyers to start looking again, to start mulling around. Why? Because we've got this snapshot in time where interest rates are still higher than what has been customarily acceptable here only a few years ago. And there is evidence, and with all the stuff that's going on right now, there is a decent probability that interest rates are going to go down over the next few years, right? So there leaves this window of opportunity of it's this opportunity cost of getting in now, acquiring a property at a price point that makes sense. When interest rates do dip, well, prices will go up, right? Right now, we're seeing the opposite happening where prices are stabilizing or starting to, soften a little bit in certain areas. But what we're seeing is that these buyers are coming back into the market and trying to pick up these properties at a better price, right? Good for them. As a seller, you need to know what you're getting into and what that looks like, right? And that's who this video is for. I'm speaking to you, owner. You own property, and as a buyer, as an investor that comes in to tell you that they're going to offer something on your property, what should you expect? And for the most part, when dealing with realtors, you kind of know what to expect, but sometimes maybe you're dealing with wholesalers, and yeah, wholesalers, they follow a different model, right? Or somebody locks up your property at a price that they think is something that you might go for. You negotiate back and forth, price comes back, you're going for it. You think, yeah, this person's offering me a fair price. Well, now they get to their inspections. And in their inspection period, they find out pretty much what we expected them to find out, but they really make it sound like those things are really, really, really bad. So now, where you might have had a purchase price that's been accepted, you maybe came off of your list price just a little bit, you've got this buyer who's devaluing your property by 20%, trying to scare you into thinking that these things are the things that are going to affect everybody. And they may or may not. right? And that's the thing. You that's what we're here for, right? In navigating through that process and knowing, well, what would another buyer buy this property for? Are you going to have to discount it by 20%, or can you get away with just dropping it by another 5 and getting the thing to just flip and move, right? So that's the market that we're starting to see again, because and not again, but not that it ever went away. We're just really starting to see it more because investor buyers are recognizing that there are sellers who are feeling more desperate in this market. And that is real, right? Time on market is longer. If you look at the stats on our website, you'll see how long the current, whatever zip code you're in at whatever price point, you'll see how that's been looking. And it's taking a little bit longer to get these houses sold. So as a seller, do we wait? Do we not? Do we take this offer? And if we do, and this buyer locks it up, are we committed to saying, hold on, like when something comes back that says, now I need you to drop that price by 20%, that bait and switch, is that gonna deter you? Is that or is that a part of the process? Is that a part of the game for this particular buyer, right? And I think more than likely on the latter. I mean, I've been in this business for a long time. I hate to say I'm super cynical or I don't know. I've seen a lot. So at the end of the day, people have their different ways of approaching deals. This might be a different way for certain buyers versus others. But again, as the seller, what is this market telling you to do, and how is that going to look to you, right? So again, I wanted to just bring that up, with buyers who are getting back into this market as investors and seeing that there is opportunity right now that is out there. It's good to be aware. It's good to have a solid team in place from, property manager, real estate agent, broker, and everybody all around in that ecosystem to know what should you be worried about and what shouldn't you. I think that's something to think about. Thanks for letting me share. This has been one of those weeks where the market is pretty. Buyers are very picky this week. We're getting showings on properties, but you hear feedback that you just generally don't hear, and it's just been getting progressively louder, right? So whereas the market should be just absolutely gangbusters at this time of the year, we're not. And let's see what the next couple of months bring. But I have a good feeling about it. Cool. I'm not going off of feelings though. I got to base it on math. And right now, it's not mathing, but we'll see it sooner than later. We'll see it. Thanks for watching.